is Katie, the creator of KNF Design. I wanted to first thank you and welcome you to the 12 days of December. For today's project, we're going to be using this cute little snowman. I know it looks a little funny when you first upload it. My lines were just black, that's why it turned him black. And especially lately, Cricut has been doing something weird with the sizing. So, let's just talk about this design here. There's a lot of things you could do with this snowman, and as you can see, there's a lot of parts to him. Let's first start out by changing him back to white head, and we want that white, so there we have him. Okay, white. So that's what a snowman should look like. I added extra pieces so you can use whatever pieces you want. So, oh, he's still grouped too, so you need to ungroup him, and that probably would have been easier to select things for me. Size-wise, I think that's always the best thing to do first. And I'm going to personally put him on a metal tag that I got from the Dollar Tree. This is an extra large tag. They do have smaller ones. This one is just shy of 5.5 inches tall, which is huge. But let's see, we probably don't want to make him the full entire size. What if, I think 4 inches tall might be good. So then we'll go up here to the height, and look at that, he's pretty much already there. I am good. But then you have to look, 3 inches wide. Will that fit 3 inches wide? It's close, but it does. And it's pretty much because of his hands, so if we want, we can move his hands in a little bit more. Or we could even trim the hands. If you would like, you can shorten them. But notice that it changes it all together. So if you want it just to shorten, you'll have to hit the unlock button. And then I moved a little bit. Try to keep it, and you can make it shorter that way. And then to make this one the exact same length, you can just duplicate it. But I'm going to undo because I like the bigger hands. And if you want it, you can make them a little bit fatter and things too. There's a lot you can do with kind of shift things around a little bit. So, oops, we will delete that one and duplicate this. I right-clicked and hit duplicate. Duplicate. Now you can go up here and rotate it different degrees, or you can see how my arrows, how it kind of goes around it. You can also rotate that way. It won't matter a whole lot because it'll be on a sheet of vinyl. Also note, if you did buy the VIP, you will get extra accessories besides these that I'm showing you here. You will actually get some different hats, some different faces and noses and things to pick from. So something you might want to think about. That one hat is mighty cute, just saying. So speaking of hats, there's some holly that you can put on your hat. And it's actually in 2 different pieces. We have the berries and we have the green. And then for the hat itself, here for you guys it's 1 piece and then you have 1 little strip for the red. And the VIP, I made it 2 separate pieces. You have this one that's 1 piece, but also 2 separate, just in case you wanted to maybe change the brim to be all red, or maybe do red and green, or I guess you could move that up here even and do red, white, kind of like a candy cane. So if you made this part red and then the square part white, it'll look like a candy cane, which would be kind of cute. But again, that's the IPs that I broke things down a little bit more. You don't have to use all of these buttons. Like maybe you don't like this button, and it's just going to be hard to grab. Just move all of these pieces away. Alright, so this one. Let's make it, it's going to be huge, but make it big so you can see what's really going on. This is a button. I think buttons are kind of cute. This will be way too small to cut these little tiny holes. So if you want to do that, I suggest going over and changing it to a 10. It's still where it was on my snowman was still too small. This would probably be more for a different project that would be bigger, but I left it in. I personally am not gonna try to do those small little stops, but you could if you wanted to. I like to give you guys options. Now that my snowman is all over the place, I kind of like all the dots everywhere. I think I'm gonna keep all of his pieces. Again, if you don't, you can just, if you don't want hands, just hide them. He can be quite cute without any hands at all. A little bit, but that's it. And then if you want a hat, we can put the hat, oops. Do just a plain black hat. Whatever you want to do, and if you decide, no, I do want those hands, we can just go over here and just unhide them again. And we can put some hands back on. And let's just see what size he is. He is, just because my alignment of the circles and things, he is just a smidge bigger, but that's fine. And he's 3 inches almost. Again, you don't have to put them exactly, but you can just to see what they look like. You could actually even put this maybe on the scarf as well. So a lot of options you can do with these. I'm going to be cutting mine out of permanent vinyl and putting it on a metal tag ornament. You could cut this out of felt. You could do a fabric and then do like a embroidery hoop type ornament. You could put the permanent vinyl on a wood slice. You could do acrylic blanks. You could do either cardstock or permanent vinyl on a cardstock. Actually, HTV on a cardstock as well. HTV is great for those small details. There's lots of variations that you can do. One last side note I want to mention, I'm going to move all this extras out of the way. So I like my placement of my dots and I don't want to lose those. So I'm going to go over, select all 3 of them and hit attach. The cheeks, those 2, I think I'm just going to place those myself, so I'll just cut it like normal. It only works for similar things. You can't add the nose in there because it's a different color vinyl, but we do want to keep his face all the same, so we'll attach that. So I'll show you here, since we did not attach the pink ones, what happens versus the black. And you could actually attach all of those if you want as well. I don't think I'm going to, but you could. It always asks if you want to save. For right now, I'm going to say no. I've already saved it. On a mat, confirm. So there's circle bodies. Here are those black dots. See how these are his buttons and his face. They're all in the same arrangement. But his cheeks, they're not spaced like they were. They're right up next to each other. That's great if you need to save vinyl, but sometimes it's easier to put it on a mat attached, so that way, like in this case, it won't save that much, but it would save you a lot of time trying to place everything correctly. Then we have the belly, the hat rim, the scarf, and his little stick hands. Carrot nose, and that little bit of holly. So we have 7 mats because we're using 7 colors, so it seems like a lot, but they're all relatively small pieces. So I'm going to hit continue, and I like using my permanent vinyl setting, more pressure. This particular one is an Amazon brand, and I know I always have to cut it twice typically, which means when it finishes cutting, do not unload it from your mat. You just hit go again. It'll run that exact cut twice. I just have to do it with this vinyl I'm doing. Most, like all my Cricut vinyls, I don't do it with, but this one I found it helps. It's just slightly thicker. And you can always check your vinyl before you unload it to see if it's cut all the way through and needs that second pass or not. If you unload your mat and then try to reload it and cut it again, it will always be just slightly off and never cut exactly. So that's why you need to do it before you unload. Alright, I'm going to cut these and then we'll get back. So here are all the pieces for our snowman. I cut them all. It's fairly small, so you don't need a whole lot of vinyl, actually, just some good fun colors. And these are the large metal ornament tags that we'll be using that I picked up from Dollar Tree. It is a pack of 2. You could use the smaller ones, but I didn't want my vinyl to get too small on us, so that's why I went with the bigger. And I think that'll work out well. You need some transfer tape. This is actually from Dollar Tree as well. I like using it. Some people do, some people don't. It's kind of up to you. You can also use Cricut transfer tape, transfer vinyl as well. Some of these pieces, like his nose, I think it's just me personally, think it's easier to just apply that single piece like a sticker. I know that goes against probably what a lot of people tell you to do. It's just me. But for his face and all those dots, I definitely don't want to lose the placement, so I'm going to use the transfer tape for that. But if you see me, sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I won't. It's just my own personal preference. It's not the best way. It's my way, I guess. So that's the fun part about crafting. You do you. So if we use the transfer tape, we need to varnish, so we need a varnishing tool. And we don't need all of this vinyl, so we'll need a weeding tool to remove all that excess that we don't need. And it should go pretty easily here. So like this one, I probably don't even need it. It'll just come off nice and easy like that. So I'm going to weed all these off because you don't want to sit here and watch me weed all that. But I have one more little thing. So yeah, you could just apply some vinyl to this and it would look very cute. But I'm always a little bit extra. So I'm gonna add another little dimension just to take it to the next level. And that's Spackle, lightweight Spackle. This is just a small one because we won't need much. So it actually did come from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm gonna do a little bit of white paint mixed with it because this one has been used and it's a little dry, so that white paint will help just get a little bit more wet to apply to our ornament here. And I'm gonna do the vinyl first, and then I'm gonna apply the spackle around the bottom like snow, so the snow will be three-dimensional. Debating if I want to make snow like falling. Haven't decided on that yet. Maybe we could add a little bit like coming off of his hat or something like that, or maybe some to the edges of a snowman. We'll see as we get working. I forgot to mention, so to mix the spackle and the paint, we'll need a little Dixie cup or some type of cup and a paintbrush. I like using these silicone ones. It's a nice thin tip that really lets you do some good detailing, but it also cleans up really nicely, so you can just wipe it clean. I like using these ones a lot, so I recommend these. They'll be down in the supply list. So I am starting to go just a little bit crooked already, but that's okay, it makes it kind of fun. But I left a little gap at the bottom for my big snowman ball here, so we can add the snow. You could have gone a little bit lower if you wanted. And I also overlaid the head with the body, just preference for me. Now, when you place these other pieces, you just want to think about how you want them to go and be seen. So like the hat will need to be placed, and then the little red piece, the holly, and then after that the berries. I was tempted to put the scarf on right now, but I kind of want the hand to be hidden behind the scarf. So I'm going to put those on actually first. That way I can see where I want things that way. I'm going to do the face before I do like the nose or the cheeks. So just think about your placement when you are applying your vinyl. Here's our little snowman. I could be done now. I actually decided I didn't like the cheeks and I just wanted them without cheeks. But yeah, you could be done with that. It's kind of cool with the metal. Cute little tag. But we want to try the spackle to add just a little bit more to it. This is just a paper to protect my work surface, so because I'm going to go right to the edge. A lightweight spackle, and we'll just put a little bit into our cup. It's kind of drying out on me, so we got a white paint. And just kind of mix it to what seems right. If it seems too dry, add some more paint. If it seems too wet, just add a little bit more spackle. I'm just gonna kind of clump it on here. Sometimes I even like to just work with my hands. and it's snow, so it shouldn't be perfect. Once you start pressing it on, then it kind of stays, but it might take just a little bit at the beginning. Right, we'll see how that dries. I think it looks pretty good. And there's our little snowman. I like the extra little texture of the spackle that it gives. It just adds a little bit more to the vinyl. But again, if you don't want to add it, you don't have to. Completely up to you. A lot you can do with this little snowman design I'm giving you. But he could be put on a gift just to add a little extra pizzazz to a gift that you're giving. And then they can use it on the Christmas tree. It'd be super cute on the Christmas tree. I already hung him up once I saw that it was dry, but it's fun. As soon as it's dry, it sticks really well. You wouldn't think so when you're applying it, but trust me, it does as soon as it dries. I actually made a Santa and a Mrs. Claus on a metal tag like this and used some spackle to add that extra bit to them. So you can check those out at my website as well if you'd like. Those were super cute and kind of what inspired me to add the extra for the snowman here. I hope you enjoyed today's gift and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.